You're watching Chicago Bears Now. We got a lot of rumors and news to get into, but first, I can feel it. We're on the cusp. 18,000 subs just around the corner. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that big red button. We post daily videos covering the latest Bears rumors, news, game previews, and a whole lot more. Hit that subscribe button. If you've already subbed, I'm giving you a round of applause here because we've grown in a hurry here on the channel. But if you haven't, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Let's get to a Bears Rumors roundup here, starting with Mitch Trubisky. Is he earning himself some more money as he enters free agency? I'm going to give this one 3 smoking J's. There's no doubt about that. He's played pretty well since being reinserted into the starting lineup, and if he finishes strong, he might get himself a decent contract from either the Bears or someone else. This one coming from Ian Rapoport, but it's kind of just obvious, right? A young quarterback starting to play well as he enters free agency, he's going to get at least a decent amount of money. Playing the best ball of his career, small sample size, it's only been 4 games here, but he's doing it at the right time because the Bears didn't pick up his 5th-year option, which means he's a free agent after this year. He can sign with any team he pleases unless Chicago decides to franchise tag him, which is incredibly unlikely. It's too expensive. I think he could earn a fringe starter type of contract. We'll show some examples later on, but I think he could get a little bit of cash here this offseason. He's been great the last 4 games. There's no doubt about it. The play calling's improved. He's played well, efficient football, not forcing the issue for the most part. Had a couple of bad turnovers in this stretch. The strip sack against Detroit and the interception late in the end zone against Minnesota. Those things can't happen, but overall, I see a better decision maker and I see a confident quarterback. Let's see if it continues the final 2 games. If it does, he's probably going to get a decent little contract this offseason. Now, you're in charge. You're the GM. Forget Ryan Pace. I'm putting you in charge. Would you re-sign Mitchell Trubisky if you could? Type Y for yes, type N for no. You're making the decisions. Let me know. Would you re-sign Trubisky, Y for yes, or N for no? These are some contracts I wanted to take a look at and possibly the range of what Trubisky could get. High-level backups, fringe starter type of money. You look at what Marcus Mariota signed this offseason with the Raiders. Got benched last year in Tennessee as Tannehill took over, but still a guy who started a lot of football games in this league. 2 years, $17.6 million plus some incentives, so $8-9 million per year, okay? And he actually played this past week. A guy who can start in this league. Case Keenum, another player who started a lot of games. Cleveland brought him in for insurance for Baker Mayfield. 3 years, $18 million, 6 per year. He's a little bit older, so I think Trubisky could get a little bit more than 6 per year, but I think that is a decent example. Ryan Tannehill, before he got the bag in 2020, signed a 1-year, $7 million deal in 2019 with the Tennessee Titans to be their backup. Ultimately took over for Marcus Mariota, and the rest is history. Fitzpatrick and Tyrod Taylor were brought in to be kind of high-level backup fringe starter types for the Dolphins and Chargers in 2019. $5.5 million per year. I think Trubisky would get more than that because he's younger and has more upside, but this is kind of the range I think you're looking at what Trubisky could get on the open market. I'm going to set it a little higher because he's younger, and I think a team that signs him, especially if it's the Bears, probably a 1-year prove-it type of deal. So how about $10 million per year for Mitchell Trubisky? O for over $10 million, U for under $10 million. I think that's about right for what you could expect he could get if he does enter free agency and the Bears let him go. What do you think his market will be? Over $10 million or under $10 million? Speaking of money and speaking of the holiday season, look, it's last-minute time, right? Christmas is around the corner on this Friday, and you're like, crap, if I try to order something now, it's going to be too late. Gift cards are the perfect gift, and Fanatics has gift cards. If you don't know what Fanatics is, they have tons of sports apparel for your Chicago Bears and a ton of other teams as well. So just get them a gift card. Chatsports.com/gift card, and $50, $100, however much you want to be on the gift card. That way your loved ones, they can choose what kind of stuff they want. Maybe they want some new shoes. Maybe they want this t-shirt hat combo. Fanatics has tons of gear ranging literally from keychains to hoodies to jerseys to socks to face masks. They have it all. And if you don't know what to get them, shopping is tough. Just give them a gift card. It's the perfect gift this holiday season. Chatsports.com/gift card. By the way, it can be digital. You don't even have to get a printout there. You can just send it to them via online there. So chatsports.com/gift card, the perfect gift this holiday season. Next up on our Bears Rumors Roundup, Pro Bowl snubs. Yeah, 4 smoking Jays on this one. Bears had a couple of them, and obviously, every team always whines and complains, oh, this guy got screwed. Number one, the Pro Bowl's trash, not even having a game this year. 2, the voting's just a stupid process. All pro is really all that matters these days, but we'll talk about it here. I think these are 4 guys that I in my opinion, got snubbed. Allen Robinson, wide receiver's tough in the NFL these days. I'm not going to say he completely got screwed, but he is definitely having a Pro Bowl type of season. Roquan Smith is having an all-pro type of season, in my opinion. Look at what he's done with the numbers he's racked up. Sure, tackles can be an empty stat. Tackles for loss is not an empty stat. He's got 17 of those. He's got 4 sacks as an inside linebacker and 5 pass breakups. Been excellent in coverage. He's been arguably the Bears' best player on defense this year. Kyle Fuller, the cornerback, he's been awesome. Only 1 interception, but he's a hard hitter from the corner position, physical player, and he's been really good in coverage. And then how about Cairo Santos? Are you kidding me? You could argue he's been the best kicker in the league this year. He's made 22 in a row, 25 of 27. The only extra point he missed was blocked on a missed assignment, 2 of 3 from 50-plus and a long of 55. With everything this franchise has dealt with kickers in recent years, dare I say Cody Parkey, Cairo Santos hasn't just stabilized the position. He's been one of the best in the National Football League. So I think he got screwed as well. You know why he didn't make it? Because no one knows who Cairo Santos is outside of Bears fans. But who was the biggest Pro Bowl snub in your guys' opinion? Let me know down in the comments. Type RS for Roquan Smith, KF for Kyle Fuller, AR for Allen Robinson, CS for Cairo Santos. Who was the biggest snub for the Bears this year when it comes to the Pro Bowl? Now, the Bears did have 2 Pro Bowlers. Khalil Mack, certainly a worthy candidate here, has 8 sacks this year with 2 games to go. He's been wreaking havoc. Kind of hit a mid-season lull here, but he's back on the right track here. He's been very, very good overall. His 6th Pro Bowl appearance. Of course, there's not actually going to be a game this year. Cordarrelle Patterson, 4th Pro Bowler as a kick returner. He's been that running back wide receiver hybrid this year for Chicago, but he makes it as a kick returner. He's been one of the best kick return specialists since entering the league 8 or 9 years ago. It's his 4th Pro Bowl appearance for Cordarrelle Patterson. Our SMOKIN J rumor meter is as follows. We debuted this about a month ago here on our first Chicago Bears live show, so we've been having fun with it, and I want to remind you guys what it looks like. 0 SMOKIN J's, it's fake news, not going to happen. 1 SMOKIN J, it's barely true. It could happen, but it's pretty unlikely. 2 SMOKIN J's, people are talking, probably about a 50-50 chance there. 3 SMOKIN J's, it's pretty likely. I think 70-75% chance, but certainly not a guarantee. 4 SMOKIN J's, bear down because it is happening. And yeah, 4 SMOKIN J's because the Bears definitely had some Pro Bowl snubs. How about the Bears interior O-line? Is it set moving forward? I'm going 3 SMOKIN J's on this one. It's pretty likely. I like where the Bears sit on the interior of that offensive line, which is a very good thing when you get into the offseason and you kind of put together your big board of what you need to figure out is most important come draft and free agency time. Here's the offensive line depth chart as it sits right now. This is the starting 5 you've seen for the last month. The Bears have had so many different combinations with injuries and guys playing poorly, but it's been stabilized the last month. And that Whitehair, Mustipher, Bars combination in the interior there has been excellent. I still want to get Charles Leno out of there. Jermaine Ifedi will probably walk considering he's a free agent. You still need to address the tackle position, but that interior, I feel pretty good about that overall. So now the focus needs to be, when you're thinking offensive line this offseason, left tackle. Got to get a left tackle. You can cut Charles Leno and save, I believe, $6.5 million or so. I think that's something the Bears should certainly do. And then go draft or sign a different left tackle. I would draft one because at this point, you're probably not drafting a quarterback in round 1 unless you trade up. So if you don't do that, just draft a left tackle, and then you can figure out quarterback later. So I think that needs to be the focus on the offensive line this offseason. I think this is what the starting offensive line could be next year. Draft pick or free agent at left tackle. Anybody but Charles Leno. Whitehair at left guard, Mustipher at center. I like Bars at right guard, but I think he can play right tackle, and then James Daniels comes back as one of the better guards in the NFL. Maybe you play Whitehair at right guard, Daniels at left guard, whatever the case may be. But I will say this, I think Mustipher is your starting center moving forward. Whitehair's played much better at guard this season than he did at center earlier on in the year, and Daniels has played better at guard in his career than he has center. Those are your two guards, Mustipher in the middle. I like it. It's been a physical group. This team has figured out how to run the football over the past month, largely due to this Bears offensive line shift in personnel, and David Montgomery all of a sudden looks like a guy who I told you coming into this year could have a massive breakout year. Well, it happened. It just happened later than we expected. This past month, this has been the best running back in the NFL, arguably, outside of maybe Derrick Henry. That's how good Montgomery has been over the past 4 games. I expect that to continue moving forward, and the Bears actually are sitting in much better shape than we initially thought heading into the offseason for that offensive line. So how confident are you in the Bears O-line right now? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being this offensive line stinks. This is fraudulent information from me. 10 being one of the best units in the NFL. I'm like a 7 or 8. Like, the interior is really solid. And if you can get a left tackle in here next year, this can be a physical offensive line that runs the football with Montgomery really, really well. I'm at a 7.5. I like how this group is playing right now. A little bit of news here. Looks like the Bears are going to sign Spencer Ware and add him to the practice squad. Just get a depth running back there. Guy who's been around for a while, 29 years old. Ignore the typo there. He's obviously not 2 years old. Over 1,600 rush yards, almost 700 receiving yards. Guy that's bounced around. He's played for the Chiefs in a couple of stints, the Colts. He's been around, knows how to play. Just a depth piece here. I don't think he'll factor in too much here, but maybe you like him come playoff time if you make the playoffs, and he's your number 2 guy behind David Montgomery. So keep that in mind as it looks like Spencer Ware will be joining the Bears practice squad.